Well, friends, we now finally have a straight answer from the government on those drones in New Jersey. We also have a lot of news coming out, like Ukraine is about to be hopping mad due to getting totally played by Europe when it comes to natural gas. We got leftists organizing to sabotage America on TikTok, and yes, it's as dumb as it sounds, but also dangerous. We got a bank run happening in Lithuania after rumors that the government is going to confiscate people's savings for the war effort. And you say, what war? Well, there's something brewing on that one too. We got a doctor, we got a pharmacist, we got a paramedic, and a patient all sharing what's really going on in the medical system here in America. We got that, plus a whole bunch of Watchmen updates that we need to report on as well. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. I am coming to you from Goa, India. I'll share at the end of the video kind of why I'm here and what's going on with that. Some exciting developments on those things. If you have an update that you'd like to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comments, and that will get it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. A lot of you guys have reached out to them, talked with them. Some of you guys have moved forward with them. Some of you guys have decided that it's not a good thing to move forward with them for yourselves, and that is what this is all about. Getting more information and seeing if it's a good fit for you. But if you want to get out of stocks and bonds and into precious metals in your IRA, 401k, or Canadian retirement account, Jonathan and his team can answer your questions and let you know how everything works, the fees, all that, and you can decide if it's a good move for you. There'll be a link at the end of the video if you want to find out more. All right, friends. Donald Trump said that he was going to get to the bottom of what happened with the drones, and with less than a week, he actually did. So, Press Secretary Leavitt said this about the New Jersey drones. An update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones are hobbyist and recreational drones that enjoy flying drones. So let me translate that briefly here for you. One, they're saying that those drones that were spotted were legal drones flown by Americans and American companies. They were authorized by the FAA. Notice it says for research purposes. That's code for they were military research, military or military industrial complex. So the initial reports came out, the things that really got people upset or worried at first was the fact that these were very large drones. They were very large drones. But one of the things that I noticed from the very get-go is that they all had lights on them. They all seemed to be abiding by air restrictions for drones, but people were concerned that they were so big. So I shared before that I really thought that there was just a military operation secrecy happening, that they may be practicing on sweeping the area for nuclear threats. If that's the case, they haven't disclosed that, but it looks like from what they're saying, this is for research purposes. So they were testing some things out. And of course, the fact that they're not saying any more about that tells us that it is some sort of black ops secret project that the government doesn't want to disclose at this point. So that is something that we need to be aware of, that they're not disclosing to us. Whether it's troop transport or whether it's a more sensitive military applications, we don't know. But that's what was happening, and then a whole bunch of people started just photographing anything that they found or videoing anything that they saw flying in the sky, whether they were manned aircraft or whether they were just regular small-sized drones that somebody was flying around. That's what we started seeing. All right, hopefully that kind of answers it for you. If not, I know a bunch of you guys are not going to be happy with that answer. You're going to say that more is going on there. Okay, well, that's what the Trump administration said. So do with that as you will. Let me know down in the comments what you think on that, I guess. Denmark is now allowing Russia to fix the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, the one that NATO blew up. Oh, that's not written here, but that's the truth. Notice that we just kind of were reporting on January 1st, Ukraine shut down its transport of about 15 billion cubic meters of natural gas per year pipelines across Ukraine of Russian gas crossing Ukraine. Now, at its peak, it was actually seeing about 65 billion cubic meters crossing Ukraine per year, but now it's last year it was down to 15 billion cubic meters. Just for perspective, when Nord Stream 2 was operating fully, it was pushing through 110 billion cubic meters per year. 15 billion cubic meters versus 110 billion cubic meters. So if Europe gets that pipeline re-operating or operational again, now at first it seems like it's not that big of a deal to get this thing fixed, but there is one section that needs to be, a couple of little sections that need to be repaired and replaced. But then they have the issue that they have salt water in the pipeline. They have to purge that salt water out. And the problem is that they still have pockets of natural gas in there as well. And salt water tends to have a lot of oxygen in it. Natural gas, confined space, pressure. Yeah, that can cause some explosions. That can cause problems. They have to be safe about what they're doing on that. But once they purge that salt water out of the pipeline that they fixed, they can then start putting through a lot of natural gas, 110 billion cubic meters per year. And this means Ukraine has shut down those pipelines, which they were getting paid $1 billion a year to allow that transfer to happen across their country. They're passing on $1 billion per year, and now it looks like Europe is just going to circumvent them, and all that Russian gas is going to go around Ukraine right into Germany. And it looks like Ukraine just got suckered. Because Russia's going to win on this, and Ukraine is the only loser on this. That and some of the countries in Eastern Europe that were getting direct natural gas through this pipelines as well. All right, on to other news. Leftists are organizing on TikTok under a code name, a project code name, Project Mayhem 2025. They're using keywords such as cute winter boots, and they're advocating people hiding others from ICE and also using boomsticks to attack agents. They're talking about other disruptive activities that they can do. They're talking about how to put on masks, how to basically become Antifa. And this is something that is going mainstream out there, and if they actually inspire people to start doing some of the things that they're suggesting, this could have start basically an insurgency here in the United States. This is a big deal if it's taken seriously. I don't know if it will be, but there's a lot of people that are really, really upset. And these people have mental issues, and people with mental issues have caused a lot of damage in the United States in the past. We may see more of that. We will keep abreast of this and keep you informed on what's going on with that. Trump has offered to buy out federal workers to quit, saying we're 5 years since COVID and only 6% of federal workers work from their office now full time. He has ordered federal workers to come back to the office, and he has also offered now 2 million federal workers a buyout plan if they just quit. That would make it easier than firing them and trying to figure out who to get rid of if they just quit. He has put a hiring freeze, so any workers that leave the federal government will not be replaced by other workers. So this is one way to really scale down the federal workforce significantly very quickly. Speaking of the federal government, new Secretary of Defense has ordered Mark Milley, formerly a general, ordered his security clearance to be revoked and his security detail to be removed. They are now looking at whether he can be demoted after retirement if there is grounds enough for that. Just a reminder of one of the reasons why they're going after Mark Milley. Milley testified to Congress, so we have this on video, that he would first notify China if he was ordered to attack China. So if he was ordered to attack China in any way, he said that the first thing he would do is pick up the phone, call China, and warn them that they're about to be attacked. Now that's called treason. And he said that in a Congress hearing, and is a gross violation of information security. There is no way this guy should be anywhere near any kind of secret documents of the United States. His security clearance getting revoked is, well, let's just say, why does he still have it? That's insane. Leb Anna says, my friend in England has a longtime neighbor from Lithuania. He had a call from his mom, who still lives in Lithuania. She was crying that the government is talking about taking people's bank savings for the war effort. Her son thought, surely not. Nothing on the news, nothing anywhere, but he is traveling to his mother's. He is saying that this is checking out to be potentially true, but no media is reporting on it. But a lot of people have started withdrawing money from the banks. So they're asking also if anyone else is hearing this out there. Lithuania is in the news also for they're fortifying the gap, the Suwalki Gap, which is how Russia reinforces Kaliningrad, which is that little island of Russia that's on the Baltic coast, the Baltic Sea coast, but it's not connected to Russia. It's not connected to Belarus. Belarus is the closest, and then there's this gap that's technically Lithuania, that Russia has a rail line and a road that cuts across that. Lithuania has been reinforcing the fortifications along that area to prevent Russia or Belarus from moving in there militarily to basically occupy that land bridge. So Lithuania is definitely feeling the heat from Belarus and Russia. And now they have a bank run happening because people are worried that the government is going to take their savings. Addicted to Learning says, my primary care doctor of 15 years stopped practicing family medicine. Finding a new doctor whose native language is English and who takes TRICARE Prime is nearly impossible in my rural South Carolina area. We are getting nervous about the quality of medical care. I recommend learning as much as you can to take care of your family. We've got some more medical updates here happening shortly. Me Into We says, I haven't made a tuna fish sandwich in a long time, so there's lots of O's on there. Last night I grabbed a can, just like I always do, and this always made at least 3 nice sandwiches. Till last night. The whole can barely made 2 sandwiches. They look like something prisons give you. It was mostly bread. I could make 1 nice sandwich or 2 with a thin paste of tuna on both of them. Not sure how or what they're filling up the can with, but there's not even half the amount of tuna in them cans now. But yet, they still say the same ounces. We're getting reports of that happening in multiple different kinds of canned foods. Ray says, no beef at all at Costco in Hermosillo, Mexico, only pork. A watchman says, who asked their name to be withheld, 3 years ago I retired from pharmacy after practicing for 41 years. Got tired of the crap from the company I worked for, the insurance companies, and my preppy boss and her attitude. It wasn't worth the headaches and the associated raised blood pressure from the toxic environment. Insurance companies were always looking for an excuse to cut reimbursements. And I always said a prayer that the patients wouldn't keel over after getting the poke. from the cough, right? Hungry Hobbit says, I was horribly sick over Christmas with that mutant flu. Went to the ER, told them my lungs hurt and burned, and they gave me Tylenol and sent me home. Well, I called my pulmonologist, and they insisted I get a chest x-ray. Said that they sent it that day. They didn't. And I called that Monday and to see if they had sent the antibiotics to the pharmacy. They said, not without an x-ray. I said, still waiting on the x-ray order to be sent. Oh, sorry. So 3 days went by without them sending the electronic order that takes seconds to send. The thing is, I had extra antibiotics at home and started taking them. I felt better within hours. That's one of the reasons why we strongly suggest getting antibiotics through Jace Case. That's the legal way of getting antibiotics, and they get prescribed to you by a doctor. And if you ever need to take them, you can pick up the phone, call the number, and talk to an actual doctor about how you should actually use them, which ones you should use, and how much dosage, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I felt better within hours. I had either a secondary lung infection or pneumonia. I'm assuming pneumonia since it was going around at the time. I was better within a week. I told them in the ER that there was something wrong with my lungs, but no x-ray. They gave me an ECG, because of the chest pain, even though I said it's my lungs, not heart. I'm asthmatic and I've survived scary close calls. I know my body. They wouldn't listen. Lesson learned. Currently searching for somewhere to buy extra antibiotics and such. Healthcare is a joke and a risk now. Pinned comment down below if you want to check out Jace Case and see what they got. You can't use insurance for it, but it does allow you to have an emergency supply of antibiotics. John says, my son is a paramedic at a local hospital. He works in the emergency room. They are overwhelmed from the minute he gets there, and they work 12.5-hour shifts. He comes home most of the time, goes straight to bed, totally exhausted. The doctors in the emergency room are mostly younger. Most of the nurses are also younger because of the workload, not getting any better. When he first started 18 years ago, things were a whole lot different. It's a shame where our healthcare is. Don't forget in your preps, make sure you're buying good quality first aid kits for all your emergencies. A good place to go is Refuge Medical, ran by Bear Independent. You're familiar with him on YouTube probably. You won't be disappointed in their product and their professionalism. If you need training, he's got you covered. Thanks. So I guess I'll put it down the pinned comment down below. Refuge Medical, they have a lot of first aid kits and stuff that are just really good, top-notch, top-quality stuff. And it's often cheaper than buying all the individual components yourself. Anthony says, a friend of mine waited 17 hours to see a doctor at a local hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. Sandra says, it's not only the poultry farmers that are suffering from the bird flu and the cullings. Farmers that supplied the grains to these big businesses now have nowhere to go with the grains that they grew for these big poultry businesses. It's a domino effect. Also, no work for the workers that were at these bird flu businesses. A lot of people are being impacted by these cullings. 100 million birds. 100 million. That's a lot of millions. That's a lot of birds. We've covered that here on this channel, but just to give you kind of a scope of how big it has been. She Can Homestead says, I'm in the North Georgia mountains. I have chickens and sell eggs. A few years ago when we had the egg prices jump, I got a lot of new customers. I increased my layers from 12 to 30 hens. All was good until egg prices came back down. All the fair weather customers left me to go back to the store eggs when the prices came back down, and I had a lot of excess eggs. I donated a lot of eggs for a few months, but then reduced my flock. I have a small flock now and support a few customers and myself. All of a sudden, I'm getting calls for eggs, asking for eggs again, but I've had to turn them away. And I'm going to up my layers a little bit, but I'm not going back to the volume I once had. All this to say, if you find someone selling local eggs, stay loyal. Do not abandon them and assume that you can come back anytime. All right, friends, let me give you a real quick rundown of why I'm here in Goa, India. Well, I was down in South southern India doing pastor trainings and ministry trainings, and we trained about 100 pastors and ministry leaders in 2 major different areas. This is a program that I'm part of. I've really taken on supporting them because they're doing such amazing work, teaching rural and untrained pastors how to lead basically small groups, Bible studies and such. A lot of these countries like Kenya, Uganda, and even here in India have a lot of people leading churches that don't have biblical education, and it can lead to a lot of abuses and a lot of, if you pray this prayer, you're going to get rich. If you give me money, you'll get rich kind of theology, which is really, really harmful and really dangerous. It hurts a lot of poor people really badly, and it's definitely not the heart of God. So that's kind of why I'm here in India. I'm about to head over to the Philippines, but I wanted to kind of check out Goa for future base of operations kind of thing as I kind of move about India to do more and more of these trainings as we kind of ramp up here in India. So I plan to be here sometimes, and Goa is kind of the least India place in India. So it's the highest wealth-wise per capita GDP in India. So it's kind of the richest province or the richest area because it has so many tourists, really nice beaches and everything like that. So I'm kind of enjoying that, but also kind of seeing how this might work in the future. But kind of scheduling conflicts ended up having me have to land somewhere before coming back to the United States because, like I said, I'm over to the Philippines. I got some exciting things to talk about over there. But I know a lot of you guys have asked the question. I know a lot of you guys are not ready to ask the question, which is, if things go sideways in the United States, where would you go? And I'm not going to say India is a great choice for that. Because a number of different factors, but I think the Philippines should be on the list of a lot of people. You don't get a full passport there, and it's hard to actually become a citizen, but it's very easy to get permanent residency there. So, and it's a good place. The government is kind of moving things in the right direction. There's a lot of corruption, but I'll be talking more about that over there and some other things as well. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys know kind of what's going on here. And without further ado, if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right here on the screen. Just tap on the screen. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.